Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So, well, I felt badly. I just cursed a bunch. And elegant Katie McFarland's on hold. And,
oh, no.
No, what do you want to say to me?
No, that's terrible. You should apologize right away to her.
I'm not apologizing to anybody. Nobody apologizes to me. Where the hell is Julie Menon? Saying that she condemns me for my Islamophobic rhetoric.
That you deserve an apology for.
Thank you very much. All right, fine. KT, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Do you accept my apology or are you mad?
No. A lot of people feel exactly the way you do, and they want to know what's the deal. Now, Trump gives him, whatever, $50 billion. What are you getting for it?
Right.
I'm hoping what they get is ICE cooperation.
I know. That's exactly what Miranda Devine said on this show this morning. That's exactly what Brian Kilmeade. So that's three very, very, very smart people. Miranda Devine, Brian Kilmeade, and KT McFarland. But he hasn't. He hasn't even changed. Forget about putting him on Rikers Island. He still talks about them. He calls them evil. He calls them evil. He says they murdered Renee Good and Alex Preddy. So what does Trump know that no one else knows?
Well, we'll have to see where it goes. J.D. Vance is now in charge of fixing this stuff, the corruption, the ICE, the whatever in the inner cities. If what we do as a federal government is say, okay, if you want to be sanctuary city, sanctuary state, terrific, no federal money for you. And so if that's the deal, that's a great deal, I think, for the government. And I think it's a great deal for New York. If we can get ICE enforcement, if we can deal with that whole, it's not just a Somali graft, but it's the voter ID integrity. If we can get that, I'm happy to pay $50 billion to New York to rebuild.
Of course. And when I do my new contract here at WABC in December, if I can get $20 million, I'd be really happy. But the odds are against that, Katie. And I don't see...
No, wait, I became your labor negotiator?
Or just don't see Mamdani doing or saying anything. And then you get the governor. I got to say this, too. The brilliant KT McFarland, who worked for President Trump, 4 presidents, now a superstar on Fox News and on this show as well. You got the mayor, the governor, Kathy Hochul. She despises ICE as much as the mayor does. Guess who loves ICE? Bruce Blakeman, the current Nassau County executive. Right. Guess who's running against Hochul? Bruce Blakeman. Guess who's one of President Trump's best friends? Bruce Blakeman. Guess who's undermining Bruce Blakeman? President Trump.
Let's just see where it goes. I think that you wait till the fat lady sings or whatever the final act is. And if Mamdani is not cooperating on ICE, then Trump now has the perfect excuse to pull out of the $50 billion.
Well, we'll see, but I keep hearing the same thing over and over. More smiley selfies, more he's a terrific guy. He's got to include that in the State of the Union. Just call him a communist and make fun of him for having people show ID to shovel snow. It would have been perfect. He had to throw in he's a nice guy. All right, anyway, because I love Trump, too, and I hate being critical even a little, but I live in this city. This is a bad guy and a horrendous mayor. I mean, 2 months in, he's horrendous, and I don't want to see him taking selfies. I'm jealous, too, don't get me wrong, because I wasn't in the Oval Office yesterday. But another pressing issue is Iran. And I know Mike Huckabee, who was on the show a couple of days ago, he told his Israeli, co-workers to get out, get out. My friend Yehuda Honickman, who lives in Judea and Samaria, my good buddy with One Israel Fund, and he's the guy that gets me to Israel for all my great trips. He is looking to come on and tell us how Israelis are feeling. I can tell you how they're feeling. They're very nervous. Now, we keep hearing that sleeper cells in the United States, KT McFarland, may even be worse than what they may get in Israel or military bases in the Middle East. Point is, any way you look at it, everybody is bracing for a major American attack. I'm hearing maybe Wednesday, Tuesday, I don't know. And they're very nervous in Israel.
Let me tell you what's going on in the Situation Room right now. I've been with President Trump in these crises in the Situation Room where he's presented with options for military action. He is extremely good. Most presidents, by the way, by the time you get to the Situation Room, the Pentagon and the intelligence community, they're saying, this is, we recommend, this is what the intelligence we have, and they're supposed to say, the president's supposed to decide, okay, I'll take option A, B, or C. What this president does is he sits down and he asks the hard questions. Okay, let's say we have regime change in Iran. What happens next? Who's in charge? We don't want to run it. But yet if we walk away, does the Revolutionary Guard take over? And they'd be even worse, potentially. These are the questions he's going through, and I'm very proud of the president for having given himself so many options. Military option where he could do small, medium, and large military options. He's also doing the economic squeeze where people didn't really notice it, but they're really enforcing the sanctions on the ghost fleet, the tankers that are going into Iran illegally, getting illegal oil you're not supposed to sell abroad. You're not supposed to buy abroad. They're putting the oil on those tankers, and then they're selling it to China, other places. That's being shut down. So that's squeezing the Iranian economy. Now, are we doing stuff that you and I don't know about and I don't want to have anybody know about? Are we doing some behind-the-scenes covert intelligence gathering? Are we helping opposition forces? Are we giving them the ability to communicate, digitally? One of the things that the mullahs have done is they've shut down the internet. So Iranians who are very computer savvy, it's a very young population, they're very computer savvy, but they can't talk to each other. So are we helping them with the ability to do that? That was one of the things in the Cold War when we helped the Poles talk to each other, during the final days of the Cold War. Are we doing that to Iran? I hope we're doing all of these things, and President Trump is going to make a decision. And all the people who say, this is what he's going to do, they don't know.
They don't know.
President Trump probably hasn't decided.
He probably hasn't.
He's got all the options,
yep.
And, he's checking the boxes. They've had their negotiation now this week. Didn't work. Nobody thought it was going to work, but he's checked that box. So what comes next? And the thing that he's got to be thinking about right now is if he has a regime change military operation, first of all, they're not going to do it if it's successful. But secondly, what happens the day after? You get rid of the mullahs, who's in charge?
Right. Because if you get rid of Khomeini and the mullahs, could be worse or every bit as bad. So who comes next does matter. Let me move this to Cuba, where we saw this boat from Florida make their way towards Cuba. The Cubans opened fire, and I believe 4 Americans are dead. A lot of dead people on the boat, I don't know. And it turns out that that boat, at least I'm hearing, was a stolen boat from the Keys somewhere in Florida. These are all these refugees. So there's a lot more questions and answers right now. We got dead people. We got Cubans firing on Americans. Marco Rubio very, very upset. He wants answers. And I keep hearing that as quickly as Iran may topple military action, that we're about ready also to make a regime change in Cuba. This doesn't help. What are your thoughts?
I think we're closer in Cuba than we are in Iran.
Wow.
And here's why. So Marco Rubio, who has spent a lifetime studying Latin America, he knows who these leaders are. He's Cuban. He speaks Spanish with a Cuban accent. He is talking. He's not talking to the government. I've talked to people who have gone to the Cuban embassy in Washington, and they've said that the ambassador there, the diplomats are all saying, we want to talk to the government, but they're not talking to us. The State Department isn't talking to us. No, they're not, because the government of Cuba is, they're going to go down like the mullahs. They're and they're not decision makers in the sense of being bold. Who is bold? Marco Rubio is talking to one of the grandson of the Castro nominal leader now, who's in his 90s. He's not really making decisions. So Marco Rubio is talking to the 30-year-old, 40-year-old people who have said, look, this doesn't work for us. Communism is a disaster. We look at America's prosperity. We look at where we are. We don't have we don't have, we have water. We're like fourth world country.
Yeah.
How can we do a deal? And that's the deal I think most likely to happen, because Rubio knows this stuff better than anybody.
Agreed.
And if he's talking with the people he needs to talk to, then I do think that you could see a change of government, and you could definitely see a change of policy. It's an opportunity waiting to happen, especially for a real estate developer president.
About 3 more minutes, but 2 more stories I want to get to with you, KT McFarland. What we saw in Mexico a couple of days ago, El Mencho took him out. He's out. And a whole bunch of other bad guys. I was reading that even before they took out El Mencho, that the cartel literally handed over 100 of their most dangerous members to President Trump without a fight, without any gunfire and fatalities. So it looks like this war on the cartels, which Rubio told me about on this show way back when, which Rubio and Trump and Vance talk about all the time, is real. We just saw that in Mexico just a couple of days ago.
Oh, it's very real. And the sequencing of how we deal with this was important. We had to seal the border. We had to stop the fentanyl coming into the United States. And now that that's done, now they can start working with, say, the Mexican government. I was surprised when the Mexican president, who has not been very friendly to President Trump, she's done what her predecessors have not done. And she's cooperating. She's used U.S. intelligence. She's using, working behind the scenes. It's the Mexicans who are doing the military action, the Mexican government. But they are going after the cartels. I think it's a civil war in Mexico to the extent that it's the government versus the cartels, and it's cartels versus the other cartels. So it's not over. It's going to take a while to sort of wring this out. The cartels won't go down without a fight. But the cartels aren't in Venezuela anymore. They're in another part. They're not doing the shipping into the United States. The border is sealed. And so now it's, I think, a problem really focused on Mexico.
I think so, too. KT, it's great to have you back. You're great. I mean, everybody says to me, we love when KT comes on Friday. I swear to you. All week long, they can't wait for you to come on. So thank you again for being here. It's an honor for us. And once again, you were great, and we'll do it again very, very soon. Have a great weekend.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.